Hey everyone, this is Kaylee and Emmanuel. It's great to have you here, and we want to share some love with you.
And today we want to talk about our biggest fears leading up to our marriage.
Sounds great.
So some context. So this is our first video. We've had it on our hearts for a while to start a channel. So this is number 1 and lots more to come.
So most of you would probably know we got married about 3 months ago. We now know each other for a bit more than 2 years. And because we recently got married in this interesting time with lockdown, it was crazy. We have a lot that we can share. So we start with our fears.
First fear to do with our timelines on when we would actually get married. It sounds a bit spoiled, but basically I wanted him all to myself, and we didn't want to live with each other before we got married. And well, we were waiting to have sex, and we were saving a lot of things, a lot of ways of us being able to be intimate. Just also in living together, you have a lot more chances to interact and spend time. So to me, every day that went by that we weren't married, we were missing out on all of those close moments. The thing that helped me to deal with it, overcome the fear, was that I knew, because you said to me, you wanted to really have a clear guidance from God, and you wanted to do it in God's timing. And yeah, I mean, what more could I really ask for in a man? So it was a two-edged sword there. It was like my fear of waiting, but also knowing that I'm marrying a man who really values God's direction. And so yeah, there was some safety in there as well, quite a lot of safety.
I'm a safe guy.
You're a safe guy. Yeah, so that's my number 1.
You're gonna share your number 2?
Should I do both?
I can do mine.
Okay.
So for some context, we met on the 17th of June 2018, and on the day we met, we basically both knew, or within one day, I would say that I knew within maybe the first 10 minutes of talking to her, I knew that Kaylee was the one I've been waiting for my whole life.
Yeah, like individually,
we
both had in our hearts, we knew that the other person we wanted to marry.
There was a lot of confirmation.
Yeah.
And here's my fear. So prior to knowing Kaylee, there has been other women that I have come across in my life. Maybe there was also 1 or 2 that might have been interested in me. There might have been
1 or 2.
There might have been some women I thought, let me see whether this works or not. Let me see whether this is something real. And I've always, sooner or later, at some point, I noticed, no, this is not the one. And my biggest fear coming up to our wedding was, I think, to also then have, even knowing that Kaylee was the one for me, and I knew I would commit to her, I sometimes felt like maybe there's something like an aspect or something where I would be like, nah, she's not the one. That was not, it was not big, but I always had this feeling, because I was used to feeling this before, that maybe there would be this one thing where I'd be like, no. So how did I overcome? I would say I overcame in trusting and in intentionality. I think in trusting that I knew, we are meant to be together, and I knew that it was from God, and I know that God doesn't make mistakes, and also being intentional in deciding every day in you, yes, this is my dream girl, and I want to be with you, and you're the girl of my dreams. And
okay.
What's your second fear?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Well, my second fear.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So my second fear, and I wouldn't have actually put it in the bracket of fear until I spoke about this, but when we met, I had a lot of debt. a lot of debt. And there's an unfortunate series of events, and maybe we can talk about that sometime, but I had a lot of debt. And so, yeah, going in to a relationship with that, I mean, it's hard enough when it's you on your own and you're the only one responsible for yourself. But now when you're faced with the future of now another person, and actually I'm bringing this in, yeah, I felt a bit guilty. So how did I overcome that? First of all, trusting God, because we both knew that God had brought us together, that there were things he wanted us to do together. So I knew we had purpose, and so remembering basically that more important point, which is, what does God want for me right now? What does God want for us right now? Helps to just put things in perspective. And in trusting God with that, it's like, well, if he knows what's best, then he'll also help with the debt. And yeah, another testimony for another day, but there were some big changes around that as well, around the debt. And and then the other thing which really did help in overcoming the debt was just how supportive Emmanuel was. I mean, yeah, you were so sweet and so understanding and just all in, committed and helping and open.
Well, if you want to hear more about this testimony and also how to deal with debt, then put that in the comments, and we're going to make a video for that.
Comment if you want to see it.
So another fear of mine was sexual insufficiency, and I think it comes from, well...
What do you mean by sexual insufficiency?
I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Thanks. So none of us had sex before, and so it's like, well, you have to ask yourself, are we going to be compatible? Are we going to meet up to the other person's desire, and can we give them what they need, what they want? And so that's something that you don't really know until you have it. So I think what helped me in approaching it and coming up to the wedding was communication and transparency. Similar for when you're in a relationship and when you are about to get married, or even when you are in marriage and you're thinking of, am I good enough? Am I pleasing her enough? Well, I think the best thing to do is to just share your own vulnerabilities, what you think, what you're afraid of, and then allowing your partner to respond to that. And when we both are gracious to one another and loving, then I think that's the best foundation to help have also the best sex experience we can have.
And I mean, that's quite transferable to so many other things in a relationship as well. Openness. The next two are yours, babe.
So I have two more. So one more fear I had was that us marrying would mean an interference or an hindrance in what I was supposed to be doing and where I was heading. I'm going here and now she's coming and we're now going in a different path. I would say I had quite a strong leaning and direction for where I'm heading in my life. Maybe one concern would be that I would be distracted from it. How I overcame it by knowing that we can do things together. Well, as a believer, I think that God has put us together for a reason. And whatever I'm doing, I know that because you're great, we're helping each other, and we're both, there's a reason for us being together, and we can also be a blessing together. So I know that I can do more with you than I could do on my own. And another thing linked to that, and that's my last fear, is fear of lack of freedom. And that's something where it's like when you're single, and also in a relationship, there's things you can do. You can go to bed whenever you want. You can play with your friends maybe a bit more. Maybe you have a bit more time. You have a bit more freedom, especially when you're single. When you're in a relationship, things change. But when you're married, things really change. So I think that was one thing I was a bit afraid of, that I would now have to miss out on this and that and that and that. two things that helped me was to first see, well, I've had freedom on my own, but now we have freedom together because we are free. We are free to decide where we go together. And now actually, I can do things I have enjoyed doing, I can share with you. And we're talking about our dreams, what we want to do in life. And I always feel like the past, the amazing experiences in the past, I now want to share with you. I think that also comes down then to how I overcame it in telling you what I need. And you being open to help me, because there's things that we do together and there's also things that I need to do on my own with my kind of interest with my guys.
Yeah. And like when you were saying that you need more time with guy friends, not only with us together, and then me being able to encourage you and like remind you to message a friend and meet up. Know from me that I support that as well, I think.
All right, that was our fears. Or do you have any other fears?
Smoothest transitions.
Thanks so much for watching.
We're excited to see what we talk about next. We hope you are too. So it's been great having you. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it's been great to have you here, and we really hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any ideas for our next ones, leave a comment in the comments area.
And if you really liked this video and if you want to see more, we'd really appreciate if you clicked on subscribe and like the video. We look forward to having you next time.
Bye!